A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Professor Ayazam Shafi, and I welcome you to the 10th Convocation ceremony of United World School of Business. It's unfortunate that we are having to conduct this convocation virtually. I know that all of you were looking forward to this day, to creating a lifetime of memories. However, the pandemic is expected to last longer than anticipated, and we did not want to defer your convocation indefinitely. This convocation is for two outgoing batches, the summer batch of 2018-20 and the winter batch of 2019-20. This occasion is the culmination of an arduous process of learning and education that you have been through. It is an acknowledgement of your effort and an appreciation of you acquiring knowledge and skills being symbolized by the awarding of certificates. We at United World are proud of your achievements and congratulate you earnestly. More importantly, we believe that every single one of you is capable of and is meant for more success in life. We will look forward to taking pride in your accomplishments as you go from here to win the world and live your dreams. The standards we set at United World School of Business will find its reflection in all of you and your attainments. This occasion is also an opportunity to come face to face with and listen to some of the best minds from industry and academia. We have a few luminaries who have been gracious enough to spare time to address you. But before that, I request our Dean, Professor Dr. Amitava Ghosh, to please declare the convocation open.
By the authority vested in me as Dean, Academic Affairs, United World School of Business, Kolkata, I now declare the convocation open.
United World School of Business is more than a business school. It's a family. The values and aspirations of this family are so well reflected in the personality of our Dean, Professor Dr. Amitava Ghosh. Professor Dr. Amitava Ghosh did his graduation in physics from Calcutta University, followed by a PGDM from the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. He spent some time on research work at IIMC and then had a corporate career spanning about 16 years across different industry verticals and in diverse capacities and functional areas. His last designation being Manager, Corporate Planning, Andrew Yule Group of Companies. In 1993, he went into whole-time academics as Assistant Professor and Course Coordinator at the MBA program at Jadavpur University. Between 1987 and 2009, he was associated with various institutes, B schools and universities as guest faculty, paper setter, moderator and examiner, project guide, member of the postgraduate board of studies and panel member on interview boards for selection of students and teachers. He was also associated with corporate training and consulting. In 2009, he joined United World School of Business at Kolkata and shortly thereafter completed his PhD from Bengal Engineering and Science University, Shibpur. His time is now divided between teaching, student mentoring and academic administration. I request Dr. Ghosh to say a few words of encouragement to our outgoing students.
A very good morning to all of you and a hearty welcome to the 10th Annual Convocation of the United World School of Business, Kolkata. This is a convocation with a big difference. It is the first and hopefully the last of the virtual convocations that we are having, necessitated by the pandemic conditions. A virtual convocation cannot replace or replicate a physical convocation in any way. It lacks the pleasure of donning cap and gown and coming on stage to collect your certificate, the fruit of 2 years of hard labor. It lacks the joy of being able to show that photograph to your friends, family, and the next generation. It lacks the exuberance of meeting with your friends, your classmates after a long time, and shaking off all shackles, throwing your caps in the air with the promise of meeting once again. We thought it over, especially in view of a number of requests we received that the convocation be postponed. There were too many unknowns, too many uncertainties. When would this pandemic end? What would be the situation like? Recent research from South Korea shows that, contrary to popular belief that a distance of 2 meters is a safe distance for social distancing and that you needed 15 minutes to contract COVID, South Korean research shows that it is possible to contract COVID with a 5-minute interaction even at a distance of 20 feet. We really don't know what the future will be like. We were also worried about how placement would be affected if we were to defer the convocation. There was uncertainty about where you'd all be working and whether you'd be able to get leave at the same time to attend the physical convocation if and when it was scheduled, of how much notice would be required for you to get your leaves on time and the amount of coordination effort that would go in. Keeping in mind all these uncertainties, all these unknowns, we decided, like many other universities and institutes, to go ahead with a virtual convocation. The idea is that half a loaf is at least better than no bread. These are very trying times, a very adverse situation, and one has to rise to the occasion. Otherwise, these situations can break a person or an organization. But if one is able to leverage new technology, to think innovatively, one could even capitalize on this as an opportunity. Adverse situations can really make a person. And there are industries which have suffered heavily this year: travel and tourism, hospitality, automobile sector. They have all been adversely affected, but some sectors like online shopping, home delivery, they have really grown. I'm glad to be able to report that we at United World have been able to respond very positively. We have been continuing unabated with whatever we were trying to achieve, taking online classes, online assignments and presentations, online examinations, evaluation, even this online convocation. The credit for this primarily has to go to our Associate Dean, Dr. Mrs. Meenakshi Khemka, for all the planning, organizing, coordinating that went into it. And the amount of cooperation that she received from the faculty team is overwhelming. Special credit also due to Tanushree ma'am, a new mother and a first-time mother at that. She has been working from home and she has shown by example what work-life balance could be. Managing placement while taking care of a newborn baby also. Nilandina ma'am deserves special thanks for literally burning the midnight oil with her support services, coordinating every effort of the faculty team. It is customary to give a parting advice in a convocation speech. I really don't know what to advise you. We are going through unprecedented times, something we have not seen in the last 100 years, not since the Spanish flu. We have tried to teach you and train you and prepare you for life based largely on our experiences. And this is a situation which none of us have experienced. We really don't know what to say. But I would tell you, I would leave you with 3 R's. not reading, writing, arithmetic. The 3 R's I have for you are a recommendation, a request, and a reminder. The recommendation I have for you is that we have been trying to teach you how to learn. Please continuing learning. Learning is growth. If you're not growing, you are dying. It's a decay. You are not dead when you stop breathing or when your heart stops. You can be put on the ventilator, but if the electroencephalograph goes flat, if the EEG shows no activity, then you are really, really dead. So continuing learning. Learn and adapt to new situations. Use your new experiences. Learn through observation, experimentation, experience of others. Please continue learning. I had recommended a book in the very first semester, Alvin Toffler's Future Shock, which can be summarized in 3 words: adapt or perish. The dinosaurs are dead. They could not adapt. The cockroach is surviving without any significant mutation. Learn and adapt to new situations. That is a very strong recommendation that I have for you. Keep learning, keep growing, don't decay. The second is a request. The request is based on my personal experience. The request is something which you would find coming from many seniors also. Lead your own life. Do not do whatever others tell you without thinking. After all, it's your life. There will be people who have not been able to achieve all that they wanted in their life and would like to see in you, your parents, your teachers, your well-wishers. But whatever they tell you, think it over. And if that is not what you want, don't do it. You can't please everybody. Be happy, strive to be happy. Ananda Deva Kalimani Bhutani Jayante. You were born out of happiness. And you can achieve anything you want to get that happiness. Go for paragliding, scuba diving, go for windsurfing, serve humanity, take care of the underprivileged, whatever you want to. You are limited by nothing but your thoughts. That is the lesson from Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach, and the book which I had suggested that you should read. Please try and be happy in your life in whatever you do. The third is a reminder. The third R to be carried on your life is that you belong to phylum Chordata. You have a notochord. You have a spine. You are a vertebrate. Keep your heads high. In whatever you do not follow dictates of others, but do follow the dictate of your conscience. Do not, in any thought or action or in speech, do anything that you would be ashamed of. Hold your head high so that at the end you can say, no regrets. Live your life in a way that is fully satisfying, no regrets. Wish you all success. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Every time we hear you, we add to our knowledge and understanding. We remain grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst Mr. Saurav Roy, an experienced HR professional with over 18 years of global experience, having worked across North America, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, Papua New Guinea, and India. He has in-depth experience of partnering with organizations in improving performance and boosting results by maximizing human capital. He has been able to increase competitive advantage by aligning people and culture with business strategy. Currently, he is heading Industrial Relations Function, Eastern Region, for Reliance Jio Infocom Limited, and is responsible for maintaining unruffled industrial relations across the region. Let's listen to Mr. Roy.
A very warm good morning to all the students, entire management of United World Business School and all the honorable gurus without whom today's ceremony would not have been possible in your life. To start with, I would like to congratulate all the students here and wish you all great success for your future. To everyone who is graduating, today is for you. You can look at yourself in the mirror later tonight and know you beat the odds that may have been stacked against you. Whether it be unforgiving pasts, unfortunate experiences, or any person who told you you couldn't do it and yet you did it. You did it. There have been people who have helped you along, yes, but in the end, there's you. So be proud of yourself and forgive who you were because you succeeded and it's only up from here. Just starting out, one of your biggest strengths is not knowing how things are supposed to be. You can compose freely because your mind isn't cluttered. You don't take for granted the way things are. The only way you know how to do things is your own way. Technologically, you all are already years ahead of what we were your age. You have all the information that mankind has gathered right in your pocket in your phone. Now use that information to find the facts to make a better world than the one we have today. You matter, you are important. Get the job done and remember to take care of each other. And in your life's journey, I want all to stay true to the most real, most sincere, most authentic part of yourselves. I want you to ask those basic questions. Who do you want to be? What inspires you? How do you want to give back? And then I want you to take a deep breath and trust yourselves to chart your own course and make your mark on the world. I frequently encounter a lot of students who have passed out and who are starting their career and they were rejected from job applications for countless times or they are afraid to apply again. Lots of students ask for advice on how to qualify for jobs or what to do. Now as you are at the end of your master's program and you're graduating and you would be looking out for jobs, I thought let me share a few tips also with you. Okay, so what I tell all the students whom I come across most of the time, and I'm sharing those same tips with you, is first of all, as much as possible, attend various trainings and seminars which occur related to your own field of study or related to your own field of interest. Okay. Along with these seminars and all, there might be training programs, there might be short-term training programs of 2 days, 3 days, few hours, which might result in giving you certain certificates, or you may attend certain workshops and all. Do attend them. The moment you go out for the job market to compete for a job or appear for an interview, these credentials of the trainings that you got would provide you an added advantage compared to competition who also might have work experience with them which you may lack. Okay, so that is one of the most important aspects. Besides that, another very important aspect which I myself personally also experienced in my own career is get as many skills as possible. When I started working at tender age of 17 years, I had just passed school, joined my university, and first year student, I got opportunity to work as a campus reporter for a Indian Express newsletter called Channel Y. And it used to give me very meager pay, but it gave me a lot of opportunity to interact with tons of people out there and learn from them. So which is a very important aspect, right, in gaining skills. Later on, I've done other jobs before I landed up my own job in my own field of interest of human resources, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is whatever skills you gained when I joined human resources, it really helped me out because I already had that, mindset to get an insight into people's thought processes while working previously as a campus reporter, and I was able to analyze things much better, much faster. Okay, so which is a very important tool. And what I suggest to you people is also not looking at the monetary aspects, look at the learning aspects at this stage of your career. Okay, we are all passing through a huge pandemic, a very bad scenario globally, and a lot of people are losing jobs also. In that, you fresh graduates are passing out, you will be again looking for a job. So it's tough times, right? Now, how do you manage yourself? So rather than looking at jobs which might be having big titles or big positions or big things. You should look at jobs which would probably give you more set of skills. Okay, you can learn skills and which would help you to overall grow in the long term. So that is a very important aspect. Along with that, try to learn some basic skills which is very much requirement in corporate world, like using Word, Excel, PowerPoint, operating LCD projectors, using Xerox machines, scanning documents. All these basic skills also is a must, because as far as when you were studying, you used to go to stores and you used to get the job done. Now when you're going to work, you've got to do everything yourself. No one's going to do it for you, okay? So you need to learn those basic skills. Along with that, try to learn something which really interests you. For example, you are interested to be a HR analyst. Then try to take up some small course which would help you to understand data, how the data works, and how you can do data analysis. Okay, so these kind of things would help you. Another very important aspect which I see a lot of people not able to crack interviews is because of lack of good communication skills. Okay, so there are people who know a response but they are not able to express themselves. So improve your communication skills as much as possible. Your oral skills, verbal skills, written skills, your listening skills, okay, all this should be improved. Another thing along with this thing is, because there is a lot of foreign direct investment flowing into the country and a lot of overseas companies coming over here, you should also try to learn a different language. Okay, probably German or Spanish or even Chinese, right? That could help you to land a good job in a company that is investing in India with their home office abroad elsewhere, right? So having an added advantage of a new language or different language would help you up in that. Another very important aspect, build up connections as much as possible. Go to Facebook, go to WhatsApp. There are various groups available over there related to your field of study. So you've done say MBA finance or MBA marketing or MBA HR or whatever other probably MBA quality or whatever you've done, right? You would find groups over there. This could be global groups. So look at global groups, look at various groups. Being member of one group or two group is not enough. Try to be member of as many groups as possible. That would give you a lot of new connections. That would give you a lot of insight into what's actually going on in the practical world out there, and what people are actually doing, how they're working, or what they're discussing, what topics they are discussing, what problems they are facing, how they are overcoming those things, how they are asking for advice from other peers. So you'll be able to understand those aspects, right? Now, one more thing I'll say is something very important. All of us these days have social accounts. We are on Facebooks, we are on LinkedIn, we are on various social sites and all, right? It is very much important on how you maintain your own social network. There are a lot of companies, while recruiting people, they do background verifications, and these days they are also verifying your social accounts and all, and they are trying to see what actually you post. Okay, this is very much important for companies, because a lot of time it has been found that people are expressing radical interests which are offending or degrading to their other people. Okay, and companies don't want people doing these things with their colleagues, so they don't want their colleagues to get affected in any way, right? So very important is be very much professional, sociable while posting in social groups. Okay, you should be accepted. You should not be interpreted as a close-minded person. You should avoid using cursing or vulgar words or indecent photos. Okay, these are something very important, right? Another thing which is very crucial is the connections which you build up, right? Don't run behind them. Okay, nurture those connections. There are a lot of people I have seen, they connect with me also, a lot of people connect, and then next day onwards they start pestering, right? They start calling us, they start getting in touch with us, probably asking for a job or all. You are not getting connected with people for a job, rather you're getting connected with people to learn from them. So keep that aspect always at the top of your mind. Don't pester people, rather look for opportunities to learn from them. Okay, so that is something very crucial. Very important thing is explore different fields. Okay, say you thought about certain field where you are very much interested, very much keen to look for a job and work in that particular area. So try to look up those jobs in those particular fields. So there might be people who are interested to work in media company, right? Then you should look up Maybe a small media company or big media company doesn't matter. What matters is you getting an entry into a media company and then getting further opportunity to grow within that domain, right? So think in that particular perspective and look for those kind of jobs. Once you get a job, right? Very critical, very important thing, love your job. Because then only you will be more productive. You will see a lot of pressure, you might see mismanagement, you might see lack of compensation, you might see other flaws in your company, right? Which might end you up getting stressed or end you up making complaining, right? But we don't want you to do that, right? What is important is how much are you productive, and if you focus on your own work rather than focusing on the other aspects of the company, then only you will be able to become a better professional, slowly, gradually. So that is very much important. Avoid grumbling altogether about your employer. Okay, if you have any concerns, bring it to the knowledge of your supervisor, to your boss, rather than grumbling or talking behind backs. Someday you yourself will end up becoming a boss. You will not want people to speak behind your backs, right? Very important aspect. We have seen a lot of people who freshers join a company, leave that company within a month, within 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, and they do not have a clean exit. Now, what does a clean exit mean? Clean exit means once you get a job and you decide to quit and move on to a new job, right? It is very much important that you maintain yourself trouble free. That means you should not get terminated. You should not have a bad record. Okay. You should look forward that if you're quitting, you should resign properly and you should have a graceful exit from your current employer, so that when you move to your next employer, your current employers will be more than willing to give you reference. Okay. This would build up long-term relationships. Who knows, again in the long term, you may want to return back to your first employer. A lot of people do that, right? Very important aspect which I'm going to add up over here is always aim for higher, never settle for less. A lot of students I have seen at the point of passing out, they become so much restless, frustrated, they are willing to take up any kind of job rather than the job which they would actually got educated in or they are really interested in. Few years back, I knew one student who passed out from a university in US, and then he got opportunity to work in McDonald's. He called me, he says, I'm an engineer, what should I do? I'm getting opportunity to work in McDonald's. Should I go there? I said, no, you wait. Okay, you are an engineer, you will get a job in engineering rather than working in McDonald's. McDonald's, let it be a last opportunity. He was very happy. 2 months down the line, he got a job to work for a telecom company abroad. And most of the time he works, he travels to Hawaii, he works in Hawaii. He comes back to US, he's having a restful time in US, right? So I joke with him these days when I speak to him that people go on vacation to Hawaii, you're going to work to Hawaii, and people go to US to work while you are enjoying yourself in US, right? So this happens, right? So always aim for high. That is very important, right? You should understand what you're going to achieve in 5 years, 10 years down the line. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to pursue your dreams. The most important lesson I have myself understood in the long run in my own life is enjoy life. Okay, life is not about enjoying it after retirement. It is more about enjoying it while you are living it. Okay, so discover your passion, try to live a very fulfilling life. If you follow these things, you will be more happier and more successful in your life. So I would like to end my talk with you guys based on this thing. I again congratulate all of you and wish you best of luck for your future ahead. Have a great day.
It was such an enlightening speech. I'm sure you will find his wisdom useful as you venture out into the real world. As you go out pursuing your careers, it is important to remember your responsibilities towards the society and the environment. We now have someone from outside the world of business, but who has done impactful work in scientific studies. Dr. Dhriti Banerjee is a scientist and is the Joint Director at the Zoological Survey of India under the aegis of Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. A Presidency College graduate, she was awarded fellowships by Siba Gegi, Labolno Prabha Bose Trust, UGC Junior Research Fellowship and CSIR Senior Research Fellowship for her various research work. At ZSI, she has been researching on biodiversity and conservation, as well as on the possibilities of using the study of flies in criminal forensics. Dr. Banerjee is also the person behind the digital transformation of ZSI. She has authored more than 10 books, 144 research articles, 25 book chapters, and many articles in the vernacular press. Dr. Banerjee was conferred with the award of the Exceptional Woman of Excellence by the Women's Economic Forum at The Hague in Netherlands on International Women's Day 2018. Let's listen to Dr. Banerjee.
Hello everyone. At the very onset, I would heartily like to congratulate all of you proud graduates of the United World School of Business. It's a day of celebration for you, and also a day of transition from being a boy or a girl to a responsible citizen of our country. Today onwards, what you say, what you do, what you think has much wider connotations than you can imagine. This is your big day, and I'm happy to be a part of your success. Thank you, United World School of Business, for giving me this opportunity to share this with you. For a person like me, who is hardcore scientific research, it is a welcome change to talk to young men and women from different fields. This year has been challenging for us, especially for you students whose training format always is on a one-to-one interaction basis. But you have survived the classrooms, the virtual classrooms, the online exams, and here you are today to get your graduation degrees. The challenge of entering a new world started even before you could step outside your college. Actually, institutions can build the future of students. They build the students for the future. And I'm sure this pandemic has equipped you and built you for a future in a way unpresumed and unforeseen before. And I'm sure your school has equipped you with all the skill sets and tech tools to face this challenge confidently. You are the young graduate in whom lies a responsibility of building a responsible India. You are not only creative thinkers, but remember, you are free thinkers too. The future of our country is pivoted on three major points. 1. Learning. 2. Invention. And 3. Innovation. This is an age-old dogma known from the Vedic period. Your learning bit can be facilitated by the invention, but the invention bit is your creativity. Don't think invention is only scientific gizmos. It's creating a process, a protocol, or a tool. Say for example a telephone. It was an invention. We have come a long way from there. Today you are having a virtual convocation. Because once upon a time, an innovator speaking to his girlfriend over a phone wanted to see her face. It's really simple, and it usually starts very simple. But from the simple telephone, we have innovated and renovated all our gadgets to the handheld computer, the mobile, the laptop, and it has spread through the length and breadth of our country. But along with the spread of innovation, we have also spread the sci-fi sludge of innovative garbage all over. Herein comes the management strategies of our inventions and our innovations. This is just one example of where we are standing today. We are facing this onslaught on our environment every day. You must have seen Facebook posts where the snow-capped Himalayas can be seen from Jalandhar and the Kanchenjunga can be seen from the 9th floor flat behind your college during the time of COVID. Possibly that was the only positive fallout of COVID, was that breather that our Mother Nature got. She heaves a sigh of relief and had started to recover. We as social, scientific and technological innovators and inventors will always be inventing and innovating for making our life comfortable. But it is for you youth, like you, to make us feel responsible for also devising mitigating measures to make your future sustainable. Herein comes the 4th and the 5th points. sustainability and compassion. Every step you put forward, question yourself, how long is it going to last? Is it only about you or is it about others too? Don't think, why should I bother? Because I'll be dead in 100 years. That is why you know that the dogma of rebirth, I guess our ancestors had devised that to make us feel responsible. It's a theory which makes us be afraid of destroying the future for the present to survive comfortably. If the whole world believed that they were to be born again as a tiger or a leopard or a snake or a crocodile they killed for making a coat or a bag, they would refrain from killing or destroying the species. But since that is not possible, you know that very well, and tomorrow you can see an endangered species only in the zoo. Show compassion, not only to your fellow humans, but also to the animals, the nature around you, and prevent this unnatural high-paced destruction which we are seeing today. If I start rambling on climate change, I'll go on and on and on because it's one of my favorite topics to talk on. So I won't go into that. But to all of you management graduates, when you join a blue chip companies, please keep in mind that today when the companies are talking about CSR, it is relevant and it is important. But tomorrow, the corporate should start talking about corporate environmental responsibility too. Also here I would like to add, before I finish, is that when each one of you, when you go up the corporate ladder and you have a footing in the society tomorrow, pull up an underprivileged person up along with you. Your pull can change a life. Your push can sponsor a dream. Your help can give a mind a pair of wings to fly. Change your carbon footprints to footprints on the sands of time. All my best wishes to all of you proud graduates and to all their proud parents. Stay happy and stay safe. Thank you.
I'm sure this will help you get your focus right and align business growth with societal and environmental needs. The next and the last speaker is a tech entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and business leader, Mr. Abhijit Banerjee. With over 3 decades of cross-border company building and investment experience, Mr. Banerjee has a deep understanding of complex business processes, human capital, and software applications which propel great businesses. He is based in Singapore, and in his capacity as a venture capitalist, he is deeply involved in curating outstanding tech startups from key startup destinations around the world, including USA, Europe, Israel, and Asia. Startups that are led by resourceful founders with a mission to create a true delight or solve a real problem. Let's listen to Mr. Banerjee.
Hello graduates, greetings from Singapore. First and foremost, congratulations on your successful graduation from your business course. But the challenging times that you face in today's world is something which we need to deeply ponder on. As you go out to this world to seek your fortunes, to seek your careers, you will see that the academics that you have gone through is perhaps a bit behind the curve, because the world today is rapidly moving forward and is throwing up opportunities which didn't exist as of yesterday. So you're now a part of a new changed world order where COVID has accelerated the adoption of technology in this digital world of virtual economies. While this process has been inevitable, right? So we've seen how technology is eating the world. But what would have taken, perhaps 3 to 6 months, or 3 to 6 years rather, is now happening in 3 to 6 months' time. And this is all pushed by this unfortunate pandemic, which is changing, or rather changed, the world in which we live, work, and play. It has impacted and decimated lives and livelihoods. And from this rubble, what is emerging as the only silver lining is technology and the ability of humans to quickly adopt to this change. If you analyze the last 1 year that the world has gone through this huge pandemic of epic nature, because of technology today, we have been able to survive and carry on our business and work as usual. Never before have we faced a pandemic which is engulfed the entire world simultaneously, bringing the world economy to a near total freeze and wiping out the bulk of the world GDP at one go. And yet, crisis presents an excellent opportunity for new waves of disruptive innovation to be born. Fortunately for us, in crises like these, technology-led disruptive innovation invariably gains momentum and accelerates rapidly. Technology plays a vital role in making goods and services better, faster, cheaper, more efficient, and far more effective. We believe that in these times of great times of crisis, new ideas and innovations are born and get accelerated. Today, many of you who are stepping out and seeking a career will hope to get a good job. But today, you have to perhaps question the status quo and ask yourself, what is the definition of a good job? There are industries which used to be the diva industries of our times. People used to take pride in working in the high street banks, in the large oil and gas behemoths. Today, those sectors are all decimated. Upstarts have come and changed the way business is conducted in each of these sectors. And all of this is riding just 2 to 3 things which are today creating this digital halo around us. One is the internet. The second is the mobile device, which has given you the computing power in your hands. And the third is GPS. With this, today, as individuals, we are empowered. We are empowered because we have access to data. We have access to information. Data today is the new oil. Years back, data used to be in the privileged pockets of the nobility, the royalty, the politicians, the bureaucrats, the priests. Today, it is democratized. It is democratized because of technologies which has been given to us by the likes of Google, where at the drop of a hat you can have information which perhaps in our times we had to go and dig for it by flipping the pages of encyclopedias in libraries for where we had to perhaps wait our turn for those books because they were in high demand. Today, with this access that you have, you can perhaps go and change the destiny of many industries. Many years back, way back in 1994, there was this son of a Cuban immigrant who was lucky enough to have graduated from Princeton University and landed up in a plush job in the Wall Street. And that's where he discovered the power of data. And he realized that whoever owns data and can mine the data has tremendous amount of power in his hands. And he did one crazy thing. He decided to chuck that job in Wall Street, move all the way from New York to Seattle, and then decide to sell books online. People around him thought he's gone crazy. Today, that man is the richest man in the world. And today, he owns an empire which is called Amazon, which is a $2 trillion company. And which is today the biggest brand and the most valuable company in the world. And sitting alongside Amazon are the likes of Alphabet, which is Google, Facebook, Tesla. So today, the top 10 companies of the world, 8 out of 10 companies are all tech companies. So 20 years back, not too long back, 20 years back, there were names like Citibank and ExxonMobil's, which used to be in those Hello top 10 list of largest enterprises in the world. They are no longer there. Today, tech has gone and taken control. Today, one of the things that tech has also taught us is that nobody can rest on their laurels. Disruptive innovation is something where you have to constantly question the status quo. This is the new normal. Things which didn't exist, you have to come out with those ideas and try to make it available to the consumers. And as one day, Apple's founder Steve Jobs had famously said that the customer doesn't know. We were always told in our schools, in our academics, that customer knows everything, customer is the king. But Steve Jobs said, the customer doesn't know anything. You have to create something which the customer would love to have. The Apple phone, the touch screen which Apple came out with, revolutionized the whole world. And today, the customers can't think of life. We as consumers can't think of life without a smartphone. Our whole life, in its entirety, revolves around it. There are many other such stories. Two young kids who one day were in France realized that, if they can't get a taxi, how could they have, shared a car with somebody else? And one of those kids' name was Trevor Kalanick, who went on to found this company called Uber, which today has changed the way we use transportation. So the ride-hailing industry was born out of that. There are many, many, many other such stories. 20 years back, nobody could imagine that the hotel industry would be decimated by a bunch of young kids who decided to create a whole new space where people could share excess capacity in their homes with strangers. That's where the concept of Airbnb was born. One guy who knew nothing about rocket technology, who's now called a maverick, has proven to the world that rockets can be reused. And it has brought down the cost of sending humans to space stations to a fraction of a cost which NASA used to spend when they used to use their own space shuttles. So today, as we speak, every industry is getting disrupted by innovations which are coming from outside the industry. The watch industry has got disrupted by a device called the Apple Watch, the smartwatch. The smartwatch today does much more than a conventional watch used to do. The watch industry didn't see it coming from technology which came from totally outside the watch industry. Caught them by surprise. Hotel industry has been decimated. Today, as we speak about transportation, a time is going to come when even the conventional, transportations that we use, the taxis driven by humans, will one day will all change because autonomous vehicles are on the way. It may take a little longer in India, but around the world, the adoption has already started. There are full-scale testings which are going on. Bus fleets have been announced that they will be driven by autonomous buses. There will be no humans, and that will reduce several things. That will reduce the error of human judgment, which causes accidents, drunk driving, which is a huge problem in every country. That will get eliminated because machines can't do things wrong, because they will be using zillions and zillions of data points to take accurate and timely decisions, which will save lives. Machines will make machines. If you have heard about Elon Musk's gigafactories, which has come up in record time in Shanghai, in Berlin, in Texas. So these factories are going to create machines. But the scary part of all of this is that technology also sometimes tells people that there will be loss of livelihoods. But history has taught us that, humans are a very resilient class. When repetitive work is taken up by machines, it frees up time for us to do things which are more productive. It frees up our brains to study more, learn more, try to figure out things which will help in making our lives better, efficient. And that's how disruptive innovation is born. 100 years back, when the horse-drawn carriage was replaced by automobiles, people thought that, oh my God, so many people will lose their jobs. But people reskill themselves. But the pace of change over the last 100 years, in comparison to the pace of change in the last 20 years, can no way be compared. Today, the rapid change of pace means that what you're learning in your academics will become redundant the moment you step out of your academic world, because the world outside is very different. And in this world, the survival of humans will depend on not on what you have learned, but on your learnability, your continuous learning. And today, you guys are lucky because you are in a generation because information is there at your fingertips. So, my humble request to you is that question the status quo, be curious, and instead of saying that I know, learn to practice saying I don't know. Because when you say I don't know, you'll be curious to ask questions. And you'll be seeking those answers. And while you're seeking those answers, you'll perhaps be able to identify situations where you yourself can one day become a Jeff Bezos or an Elon Musk or a Mark Zuckerberg and create things from scratch. Where you, instead of going and seeking a job, can perhaps build organizations which will employ or generate employment for hundreds and thousands of people. So on that note, I wish you all the best, and I hope and pray that the vaccines will start working for us sooner than later, and we all will remain safe, and we'll come out of this long winter successfully. But we will also would have learned a lesson, and that lesson is that you cannot take anything for granted today. Cleanliness, hygiene, etc. are things which cannot be taken for granted. It has to be practiced, and technology is something which has to be embraced, because if you have to survive this world, you have to embrace technology, and for that you need not be a computer science grad or a computer engineer to be able to use technology to make your life and those of yours a better one. So good luck to you, and take care of yourselves. Thank you.
I'm sure many of you aspire to start your own business. Mr. Banji's thoughts would help you in that process as you go from here. Now for the big moment. We will play a video where your names would be announced sequentially and the certificates would be awarded virtually. But before that, let me request Dr. Meenakshi Khemka, Associate Dean, Kolkata Campus, to announce the names of the rank holders.
The gold medal goes to Megha Chaudhary. The silver medal goes to Pallav Sardar. The bronze medal goes to Priyanka Agarwal.
Hearty congratulations to all of you. That concludes the award of certificates to Summer Batch 2018-20. We will now commence the award of certificates for the Winter Batch 2019-20. I request Dr. Khemka to first announce the name of the rank holder for the Winter Batch.
The gold medal goes to Shada Rahman.
Finally, one more certificate to be awarded to the student of Summer Batch 2017-19. That concludes the award of certificates. I now request our Dean, Professor Dr. Amitava Ghosh, to offer a vote of thanks.
A vote of thanks is always a very pleasant, though onerous task. I would like to begin by thanking Ms. Dhriti Banerjee, Mr. Shourav Roy, and Mr. Abhijit Banerjee for taking time off from their busy schedule to send us these words of advice and encouragement for our outgoing batch. Thanks are also due to all parents and guardians for allowing us to train, teach and mentor their wards for the last 2 years, for reposing their faith in us that we would be able to help them prepare for life. I would also like to thank all employees of United World School of Business, Kolkata for the unstinted support and cooperation we have received at all times in every sphere. Special thanks to the faculty team, including academic coordinator, who have really risen to the occasion, adapting to new technology and working 24/7 to ensure that things go on as intended. They have reaffirmed our faith in the motto that the show must go on. Thanks to all of you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. I request our Dean, Professor Dr. Amitava Ghosh, to declare the convocation closed.
By the authority vested in me as Dean, Academic Affairs, United World School of Business, Kolkata, I now declare this convocation closed.